Imagine one handshake turning into 250, paying customers without ads, funnels, or shady tactics. Girard did it so often that Guinness crowned him the #1 salesman on earth, moving 13,001 cars from a single Detroit showroom. His secret, a postcard, a phone call, and a rule so simple it fits on the back of a business card. Stay with me, because in the next 12 minutes you'll learn how Girard's rule of 250 can explode your network overnight, why no is the strongest buying signal you'll ever hear, and the postcard trick that prints referrals on autopilot. Miss a beat and you'll miss the script that turns strangers into superfans no matter what you sell. Ready to watch one sale multiply into 250? Let's crack open the best sales guide you've never used. Quick reality check: most sales advice online sounds like this: smile more, work harder, always be closing. Girard laughed at that noise while cashing commission checks bigger than the entire payroll of rival dealerships. He sold an average of 6 cars every single day for 12 straight years, without relying on Facebook ads or a fancy CRM, just pure repeatable human psychology. If you love get-rich-slow cliches, this channel isn't for you. But if you want weekly, no-fluff book breakdowns that you can deploy before the video ends, smash subscribe right now and ring the bell. The next big idea shouldn't hide in your feed. So why does Girard's 1970s playbook still matter in 2025? Because algorithms change, inboxes overflow, and paid traffic costs more every quarter. Relationship math, on the other hand, never breaks. Girard's rule of 250 states that each customer influences approximately 250 people. Weddings prove it, funerals prove it. Treat one buyer like royalty, and their hidden audience becomes your free sales force. Disappoint them, and that same crowd turns your name into kryptonite. In this video, we'll distill Girard's entire system into 4 power moves. Sell yourself first, snowball leads with the rule of 250, flip objections with the Boomerang method, and lock in lifelong referrals with his 12 postcard follow-up. Buckle up, the masterclass starts now. Chapter 1, the first 10 seconds. Girard pushed through the showroom doors every morning like an upbeat drum roll. 3 whispers to himself: I feel great. It wasn't a mantra, it was mission prep. One Tuesday, a woman in a forest green coat hesitated at the threshold. Joe noticed the crisp crease in her sleeve and the careful way she smoothed her gloves. Details mattered to her, so his silver tie had to lie perfectly flat. He stepped forward, not charging but welcoming, and said her name twice. Mrs. Bennett. Mrs. Bennett, glad you came in. The double name trick cracked a smile. Suddenly they weren't stranger and salespeople, but 2 people on first name terms. Before engines, prices, or payments came up, Joe let her speak. She confessed she hated pushy dealers. Joe nodded, leaned in a hair, and replied, my job is simple: find a car that makes you feel as polished as that coat. Mrs. Bennett's shoulders relaxed. The next 20 minutes felt like a concierge fitting, not a sale. Joe opened doors, pointed out stitch lines in the leather, proof that he cared about the same little things she did. When they settled into a cobalt blue sedan, he asked softly, if this feels right on the road, would you like to drive it home today? No hard close, just an invitation grounded in a trust already built. She left with the car and a grin big enough to fuel a year's worth of referrals. Joe's secret wasn't a script. It was a congruity attitude that lifted, an appearance that reassured, an approach that honored her name, and an ask that felt like a favor, not a demand. Before tomorrow's meeting, choose 3 words that charge your confidence. Press your shirt collar flat, learn the prospect's name, and frame your first question around their pride point. Do that, and the rest of the pitch writes itself. Chapter 2. One sale, 250 echoes. A month after Mrs. Bennett's purchase, Joe's phone rang. Joe, it's Bennett. My nephew's getting married Saturday. Think you could help him find something reliable before the honeymoon? That single sentence lit up Joe's mental scoreboard. Weddings, he'd learned, averaged 250 guests. Make the nephew happy now, and the reception hall became a live commercial for Joe Girard. Joe blocked out his Saturday morning. When the nephew Mark arrived looking frazzled and short on time, Joe didn't open with horsepower. He opened with Mark's problem. You're flying out Monday, right? Let's get you a car that won't steal a minute of that honeymoon. 10 minutes later, Mark was test driving a cream white Malibu. While the paperwork was printed, Joe handed him 2 blank business card-sized slips. At the reception, you'll be cornered by relatives asking about the new wheels. Give these to the first 2 who seem jealous. If they call me next week, I owe you a steak dinner. Mark laughed, pocketed the cards, and left grinning with new keys in hand. By Wednesday, Joe had fielded 3 calls, 2 from wedding guests and 1 from Mark's best man's boss. Each opened with the same line: Mark says you treat people right. No Facebook pixel could beat that trust transfer. But Joe never chased every lead blindly. When the third caller admitted he was just looking, Joe cheerfully booked a future date and pivoted back to the two serious buyers. Time saved is commission earned. Friday afternoon, a thank you postcard. Girard's trademark already sat in Mark's mailbox, scripted in blue ink. Enjoy Italy. Tell the photographer to get my good side when that Malibu photo bombs, the wedding pics. List 10 people who'd gladly slip 2 of your cards into a jacket pocket this weekend. Reach out tonight because every roomful of 250 is a silent stadium waiting to chant your name. Chapter 3. When too expensive becomes I'll take it. Late Friday, a steel-jawed contractor named Lou Russo stomped into the showroom, fingerprints still dusty from a job site. He pointed at the top-tier pickup and barked, "How much?" Joe quoted the price. Lou whistled. "That's highway robbery. Carl's Auto across town is $2,000 less." Most salespeople would scramble for a discount or mumble justifications. Joe leaned on the fender, folded his arms, and let silence stretch a calm that said, "I'm listening, not begging." When Lou's glare softened into curiosity, Joe spoke. "Lou, sounds like cost matters because every dollar you save today fuels your crew tomorrow. Fair?" Lou nodded in objection. Joe tapped the truck bed. "This model hauls an extra half-ton and comes with a 3-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. My roofing clients tell me it saves them around $800 a year in downtime and repairs. Over 3 years, that's $2,400 back in your pocket. $400 more than the difference at Carl's. Would turning a $2,000 losses into a $400 gain work for you?" Lou's eyebrows climbed. The price objection boomeranged into a profit pitch. Still hesitation lingered. Joe slid a calloused finger across the tailgate. "Tell you what, take it for the weekend. Tow your heaviest trailer. If Monday morning you're not convinced, I'll match Carl's price or fill your tanks for a month." Lou cracked a grin. "Keys, please." Monday, Lou marched back not to haggle, but to sign. He slapped Joe's shoulder. "Truck saved me a crew call when the old rig overheated. Consider it sold." Joe's follow-through? A handwritten postcard by Wednesday. "Lou, glad the truck works as hard as you do? Call anytime, coffee's on me." Lou pinned it to the break room corkboard where 20 roofers could read it daily. Write the cost objection you dread most. Flip it by finding one benefit that saves the customer money or time. Practice aloud until the mirror smiles back. Then deploy on your very next call. Chapter 4. 12 little postcards that printed fortunes. Sunday nights, while the rest of Detroit collapsed in front of the TV, Joe Girard sat at his kitchen table with a fountain pen and a neat stack of 12 different postcards, one for every month of the year. At the top of each card, he wrote a single name in blue ink, then a line only that customer would understand. One December, he addressed the snowflake card to Lou Russo. "Lou, here's to a winter where the only thing that ever overheats is the coffee in your thermos. Give me a shout if the crew needs another workhorse." He slipped the card into the outgoing pile. 12 seconds work that would trigger thousands in future commissions. Joe tracked everything. A clipboard by the front door listed the day's numbers, new leads, demos, closes, follow-ups. If midday totals looked thin, he'd grab the phone, dial 3 postcard alumni and ask, "Just checking the odometer, how's the ride?" Half the time the call ended with, "My sister-in-law's shopping, expect her." The other half, a genuine conversation that kept Joe's name glowing in the customer's mental dashboard. He once skipped his postcard routine for 6 weeks, thinking deals were flowing fine. The pipeline dried up so fast that he calculated the lapse cost him $50,000 in lost referrals. Lesson learned, he never missed a Sunday again. Pick one customer tonight, write a 2-sentence postcard that proves you remember their world and mail it. When that card lands, your next sale may already be walking towards you. Quick question. What's the single objection you hear most? Drop it below. Next week, I'll film a live Boomerang clinic, flipping the top 3 viewer objections in real time. And yes, I'll show the actual postcard designs Joe used. Comment now so yours cuts. We followed Joe Girard from a polished handshake to a mailbox full of repeat business. Remember the arc: sell yourself first. Let one sale echo through 250 voices. Pivot every too expensive into actually perfect. And keep the conversation alive with 12 honest postcards and relentless stat tracking. Your challenge before the sun sets: whisper your 3-word hype line. Press your collar flat, list 10 names for your referral radar, script 1 objection flip, and mail that first postcard. Screenshot any win, large or tiny, tag me, and I'll spotlight your story in an upcoming video. Found this breakdown valuable? Hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so YouTube doesn't hide next week's objection clinic. Hungry for a deeper dive into persuasion science? Grab Robert Cialdini's influence, and it pairs with Girard's tactics like horsepower to torque. Summary link in the description. Now close the tab and open your address book. The world's best sales guide is useless until you start writing your own story.